Hi traders, in this video I'm going to show you my 3-step plan, the W.C.S method. This is something that I developed for myself in my own trading, and I think this is what helped me really kind of accelerate in my career. So what is the W.C.S method? Now the W stands for why. Why are you going to get involved with a market in the first place? The C is the conditions around the market. Are the conditions being met that your why is telling you to look for, essentially? And the S is applying a strategy. And I'm going to talk about a recent example that we've been speaking about on the live streams for multiple weeks now, and that is going to involve the pound weakness that we've seen in the markets, as well as the Canadian dollar strength that we've been talking about potentially coming in. So I'm going to kick it off with the why. Why do we want to get involved with the market? Now, the why this time was developed around something called the commitment of trader reports. Now, the commitment of trader reports shows us how commercials, who are businesses, are positioned in the market. It shows us how non-commercials, who are hedge funds and large traders, are positioned in the market. And then we've got the non-reportables. Now, typically you want to do the opposite of what the non-reportables are doing. They're not always wrong, but they are wrong a majority of the time. In this, though, we're going to focus on the commercials, and we're going to focus on the extremes that were being met by the commercials. So I was using this platform called Markets Made Clear. They give you a real kind of breakdown of the COT data. And what we were looking at in the live streams was a potential sell opportunity on the Great British Pound. So you can see here on the chart, this is a weekly chart, and it is the British Pound Futures. So essentially for you, that is the pound US dollar price. And you can see that we had a sell signal a couple of weeks ago, and it was basically formed by one thing happening, and it was formed by the short contracts from the commercials, so those that are in the markets for business purposes, aggressively shorting at levels we haven't seen for a very long time. If we look at the chart here, we can see that the short contracts were over 211,000. And if I go back in time, have we really seen short contracts at those levels before? Not really. Okay, we have to go back a lot further to see that we haven't seen short contracts at those levels. So that's why I was really in tune with the markets to see if we were going to see any kind of pound weakness coming in. Now, to add to that confluence, we had non-commercials who are trend followers at extreme long contracts. Now, they tend to do this at a potential market top, okay? So they're adding in aggressively on long contracts. So you can see that the long contracts here in particular were up over 188,000. So I was looking for pound to start coming off of those highs, which it did. That 1.3 level was the point, and we started to see a turning point at that point, and the market has reduced since. Now, just to kind of add some weight behind that, if I go over to a pound US dollar chart and we go to the weekly chart and we zoom in, we can see that the market came into that 1.3 handle here and rejected, and we have moved 326 pips to the downside. And this is the power of using those commitment of trader reports. Now, the second idea that we had was the Canadian dollar, and this is one that we're looking at going into this trading week. Why? Because we can see that we've got an 100% buy signal essentially on CAD, and this is the Canadian dollar futures. You have to inverse this to get dollar CAD essentially. But what have we got? Well, we've got a 100%, which means that there is an extreme of long contracts coming into the commercials. And if we go down to the data here, we can see commercial positions long at the moment, just approaching that 300k. We're at 289,000. So I'm looking to see, are we going to get a turning point here? Now, the difference between the last signal that we had, which came actually a little bit earlier in the year, around about June, we can see that the market did rally slightly here for CAD Futures, which would be downside in US dollar CAD. And we can see here the difference now is that the non-commercials, the hedge funds, traders, they are aggressively shorting at the moment compared to the last time. So this makes me think that this move could be a potential big one for dollar CAD. Now, we've looked at pound. Okay, we said weakness coming in the pound. We've looked at CAD. That's the why, pound and CAD, right? Now, we want some conditions to be met. Now, we can go and trade different currency pairs off the back of that. We can go look at pound weakness against stronger currencies. We can look at pound US dollar. We could go to dollar CAD for a potential opportunity, or we could look at maybe trading pound CAD. So pound CAD was something that we spoke about over and over again over the past couple of weeks for an opportunity to get short in that market. Now, this is a current position in the market, and I'm looking for further downside, okay? So you can see what happened with pound CAD prices, what conditions changed, okay? So we're looking at the conditions, the second part of the W.C.S. And the market came up into a really nice level of resistance, okay, which was this resistance around about the 178 handle. And price failed to break above that. Is that enough? No. What we need to see is a change of that structure. Now, if I just go to the 4-hour time frame and zoom out, we can see that we had like a head and shoulders pattern form, and then price broke to the downside. We then rallied higher, and it formed this rejection area in here. Now, what I did was I looked at getting short in here initially, came out of the lows. I then added a position on the breakout of this trading pattern in here, which if you go to a lower time frame on the hourly chart, you can see it's like a triangle pattern that was being formed in and around this area, and price broke out of that. So I added into the position at that point. But essentially, how are we looking at? The conditions were being met to go short. What was the strategy? The strategy was looking at breakout opportunities to the downside. So what I wanted to answer the question was a lot of people blow their trading accounts in the volatility that we saw last week. But we've been looking at the markets, and we've been taking into the bigger picture of what's been going on, and we've been focusing our attention on other markets. Now, we did obviously talk about the safe havens, the Swiss franc, the Japanese yen, over the past few weeks as well. So if you want to get more detail of how we look at the markets and how we can form opportunities around it, then please join me for my live streams. They are every Tuesday and Thursday. We've got one coming up tomorrow. So I hope to see you there. If you did like this video and you thought it was helpful, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will speak to you in another video.